Good afternoon, everybody. I'm excited to tell you that we have a new associate partner at the GCMA. I'm Craig Cotterill, the Business Partnerships Manager. And this is the first in a series of Q&As with our partners, with our business partners, to let you, the members, understand a little bit better about them, what they do, and how they can certainly add value to your golf club and to you as a GCMA member. So I'm joined today by Quentin Townsend, who is the Sales Director for the UK for OrderNext Europe, who are our latest partner to sign up with the business network. So we're really excited to have them on board. And for me, one of the things when I first started talking to Quentin was the service and the solution that they provide. I think as we come out of lockdown and the golf clubs start to open back up again, is something that is really going to be needed and should be considered by all of our memberships. Technology is a great thing, but this solution is fantastic. But rather than me talk about OrderNext, I'd let Quentin talk a little bit more. So, hi Quentin, welcome. Just give us I suppose to start off, just give us a little bit of background and tell us a little bit about the company and where you've come from and how you find yourself where you are today, really.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for the introduction. So OrderNext is the premium product that I'm going to talk to you guys about today. But just to picture that in the wider perspective, OrderNext is a product which is delivered by a company called VenueNext, which is a division of Shared Access. So to break that down a little bit for you as a background, Shared Access is kind of an independent wireless communications company which builds the infrastructure. And we've installed the connectivity in a lot of high-profile sports arenas. One in the UK that springs to mind is obviously Tottenham Hotspur when they built that fantastic stadium. So we have our connectivity piece in there. VenueNext that sits under that umbrella is everything from club apps, which we have in the America, where we formed in 2014. We work with the San Francisco 49ers, the Orlando Magic, some huge venues where they have a full app with us. Now, the most relevant product, as I mentioned earlier, for the UK at this moment in time is the OrderNext product. So the OrderNext product is something, like you mentioned, is quite widely needed. It's inexpensive, but it will help people, not just because of the pandemic that we all find ourselves in. It's more of the long-term future and the technology that we can provide just to make customers transition a lot easier and smoother for both them and the clubs in question.
So without going into right through into the detail of it, can you just give us a little bit of an understanding of what it does and how it does it? And what your role is involved in all of that in terms of the big jigsaw that it is, because I think as the golf clubs do start to reopen, as all venues start to reopen, they're going to have to reopen safely. And one of the big subjects within golf at the moment is retention, is membership retention and that membership experience. And I think OrderNext can play a real part in that membership experience and making the whole F&B offering as pleasant as it can be, given the restrictions that people are going to have and the fact that they might not want to be picking menus up, they might not want to be going to the bar, etc. So if you could just expand a little bit more around the QR codes and all that kind of stuff, and then just where you sit in with that, I think that would be really helpful for us to understand.
Yeah, that's an easy thing for me to do. So as you said, we create QR codes. Nothing new in QR codes, but we do them very well. They look very nice. They're appealing for people to want to scan them first and foremost. They're not just black and white. The key bit for us, though, is the software that sits behind it. So as the demonstration would go, if I am at a golf club, let's pretend I'm in the driving range and I'm in bay number 4, I could scan this QR code that might be situated on a little screen or on a little plaque somewhere within the bay. I could scan it from my mobile phone via the camera. That would then lead me directly into a web page, which would effectively be the golf club's F&B menu. It's the nice thing for me, we've made it really simple. There's nothing to download. It is simply open your phone camera on an iPhone, Samsung, whatever phone you're on, hover, within a millisecond, you'll be looking at the menu. So it's quick and it's easy.
So you've obviously, as a business, decided that this fits, and I agree, fits really well with golf clubs. So how did you sort of, I suppose, if you like, tweak the app or not the app, but the QR codes and the software that sits behind it.
The last 6 months has been a real learning curve with the golf industry for me personally. Almost by chance, the first golf club we had on board with us was a club called Pine Ridge Golf Club in Camberley. So they've been live with us now since July, on and off, which probably works out at just under 4 months when you take out all the lockdowns and everything. So it's been a tricky time. But in that time, and with the success of Pine Ridge, which I can share with you guys later, we've had a lot of other inquiries. That's brought up a lot of other things that are purely golf related, as opposed to what they would be in a football stadium, for example. One of those would be something as simplistic as, how do the golf clubs apply the different levels of membership discount that they offer on F&B products?
Right, of course, yeah.
We've had to adapt the OrderNext product in line with the golf world over the last 6 months. To answer the question I just put myself there, we've created now a promo box on the checkout screen, which means that we can preload the membership card details, i.e. the customer's name and their membership number, which they can input into the promo screen, and that will automatically take off the discount that's relevant. So it doesn't matter whether you're a golf club that's got 6 layers of discount or you've only got a standard 10% off all F&B, it will cater for that. And that's been a barrier that literally we've had to find an answer for. Over the past two.
Absolutely. Because I suppose in a sense that, the company's been going for, like you said, for 6 years now. So well before COVID came along. So I suppose in many ways as a product, it started off as a nice to have kind of product, a nice experience for members to be able to do everything in a contactless way via their own phone. To really, through COVID, has almost become a necessity, really, or certainly something that needs to be considered by venues, not just golf clubs, about how they can safely increase their F&B spend with their customers, their members, etc. So I suppose that has been a really kind of interesting transition. So I mentioned there about increasing F&B revenue and maximising it, certainly in these difficult times. Is that the key kind of benefit for our GCMA members, do you think, in terms of taking the software in?
Benefit, yeah, but it's not the be all and end all for me, because most clubs will look at pounds and pence, and rightly so. But things like streamlining the operation, safeguarding the operation, again, in line with the government guidelines with the pandemic in regards to the non-handling potentially of cash, the not touching of hardware. Most people, as we come out of lockdown and COVID, hopefully, we're kind of entering into a new era where our product, and we didn't plan it this way because, like you said, we've been around for 6 years, so I don't want people to think, oh, here's another company come out the woodwork.
Opportunistic kind of thing.
To manipulate. We've been doing this for 6 years. It just so happens that it's been propelled to the forefront, really, because of the pandemic. And the golf world in particular in the last 6 months has been heavy for me, and less focus on the football and more on the golf, which is great for me. It's been an eye-opener, but it's been a real pleasure working with the golf clubs and stuff. So yeah, it's about the process, it's about the staffing, and it's not all about the customers at the moment. It is about the golf club itself and their own remit on processes. I know from conversations I've had in the last 2 months since coming back from Christmas has been, a lot of people are part furloughed or fully furloughed or closed, sat worrying about how their F&B operation will function, whether it's in late March, early April, May, whenever. What are we going to do in this new era? And our product perfectly complements that. It's a case of, let us get you built, get it ready. So when you do open the doors, it's another worry that you don't have. You're ready. You can start generating money safely from your F&B operation. We're not trying to say that we're going to get you hundreds of orders that you wouldn't have got, because the chances are these people would have placed an F&B order anyway. We're just making that process a lot easier and safer for clubs to do. And you will see the data later from Pine Ridge, which we will share. But in their case, it has proved that it has increased upsell because of not having to get your bottom off a seat and go and walk somewhere to order. It's the convenience of everything.
Yeah. So you kind of led me on to what was going to be my next question, and my next question was that obviously it sounds like for you personally, golf is a new industry, something that you've sort of come into and not been involved in before. So it'd be interesting to get your sort of views on your experience of the golf industry. But I think what our members would also be interested in is you've got a background in professional football yourself. So you've been in and around sport most of your life, I would imagine. So it must be quite interesting to see the differences between being involved in football and being involved in golf, really. So I think have you noticed anything with golf that since you've been involved, and certainly since we've been talking over the last few weeks and bringing this partnership together for the members?
I've noticed there's obviously quite a lot of synergy between professional footballers. They tend to play a lot of golf in their downtime. So that's something I've been party to when I was a professional footballer. But the golf world's an interesting one because I think it's one of those environments where you can take yourself away onto the golf course from any of the stresses that you've maybe having in your life. It's also a social element where you get to meet and greet people. You can do a lot of deep thinking, I'd imagine, walking around a golf course whilst playing. So there's not many sports where you can kind of do all of that in a more relaxed environment and get the best out of everything. So it's an eye-opener in that way. I think, without me sounding too disrespectful, I think quite a lot of the clubs that I speak to in the last couple of months are still perhaps living in an age they've been stuck in for quite a long time, maybe years, where nothing's really ever changed in the golf club. So it's almost a little bit of a fear to embrace this sort of a technology. But we want to be here to say that actually the transition doesn't need to be a fear or a worry at all. We've made it very simple, and the club
process, and
the clubs that have already come on board with us in the last 6 months have all got that data that they can show to prove that, and they've all been genuinely happily surprised how easy everything was. And even the clubs that we took on board that said, you know what, Quent, we don't think our members will engage with this. We're not sure how they'll take to it with a mobile phone and a scan and again, the facts and figures don't lie. We've got huge take-up rates on all of our courses that show that it is easy to use and people are using it no matter what the age demographic of the golf.
Yeah, and I think as well. I mean, you look at the golf club environment, and actually, I did a little bit of research into apps and got apps at golf clubs and things like that. And actually, the demographic of a golf club, some people would look at that and say, well, maybe people won't embrace technology, but actually the figures show that, the people that are 50 plus, for instance, are very much engaged with technology and want to use it. And then, of course, as a golf club manager, it's considering that next generation that are coming through in their 20s. Well, they're used to doing everything on their phones. That's normal to them. Yeah. So it's not revolution, it's evolution. But that evolution has I suppose has been accelerated for all of us, because even at the likes of the GCMA, we look at how we communicate now to our membership, hence why we're doing this, because everybody's got to communicate in a different way and embrace new ways and the new future, whatever that looks like in 12 months' time. We're still not sure. But that's why I think, this is something that really should be considered by all of our members, to have a look at it and see if it would work at their golf club, because I think it's a solution. And part of my role as partnerships manager at the GCMA is to try and surround our members with experts in certain areas that can give them solutions to problems that they may have. Now, this may be coming out of lockdown. This may be a problem around F&B and the safe way that people can order food, and the golf club can maximise, like you said earlier, maximise as much revenue as possible as we start to transition back to as normal as it's going to get, whatever that looks like. So I think it's really important. I think this is a really key partnership for the GCMA. I think it's something that's really, really going to add value. I think the OrderNext, I'm sure, will be a long-standing partner of ours at the GCMA. And I think you've created for us a great opportunity to give, a really good solution to a problem. So yeah, in terms of the future, in terms of where the whole thing's going, in terms of technology, in terms of golf clubs, football clubs, like you've mentioned, all these different places having to embrace technology, communicate to their customers, their members in a different way. Where do you see for OrderNext? Where do you see the next stage of this going for you as a business? I mean, we're talking about the UK. Are you looking maybe to go like the clue in the title, Europe? Are you looking to go further afield with other venues, with other products? How's the future looking for you guys?
Yeah, so with the golf, that is obviously the aim. We are in a number of countries in Europe, hence, yeah, it is branded as Venue Next and OrderNext Europe. So we're in a lot of football clubs in Spain, for example. But yeah, once we kind of got our foot in the door now with golf in the UK, it would be brilliant if we could, venture out into Europe, into golf clubs all over Europe, really. But I think from my personal perspective, I'd like to make sure that all of your many members, I've hopefully had a conversation with a lot of them around their needs for this sort of technology. It's not going to be for everybody, but like I said, there's been so many clubs that are sat worrying at the moment and not wondering where they can go. They've got their EPOSs sorted and things like that, but actually have they got a mobile ordering solution? Our whole operation is great because when you open it up, it's something as silly as if the members have got the QR code on their phone to be able to access, they could sit on their drive defrosting their car screen and order their coffee and bacon butty to be ready for them 10 minutes later when they arrive at the course.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of golf clubs say to me, could we put a QR code on the 9th tee ahead of them putting at the 9th ready ahead of the halfway house on the 10th? And again, the perfect deployment really of OrderNext, if it cuts out that 10-minute waiting around the halfway house window, particularly with the pandemic scenario, it's ticked the box for a lot of people. Could we have a QR on the 17th ready to order your food for when you arrive in the clubhouse? Well, yes, all of that is catered for.
That's it, and it keeps the flow of traffic on the golf course going as well, because halfway houses can notoriously become a bit of a bottleneck sometimes. Because the group in front have decided that they're gonna spend longer at the halfway house than the two groups behind them, and it's you jump the queue. Are they okay with that, etc., etc.? So it could keep the flow of it going. Well, I think in terms of finding out about OrderNext as a new partner, I think we've done a great job of doing that. This is the start of a series of these that we'll be doing with Quentin and the team at OrderNext. They will form part of our new know-how series that sits alongside GCMA Inspire and GCMA Hot Topics. So all of the know-how series that we're developing with our partners, Quentin will be playing a key role in that. Like I said to our members, it's a solution that I think really is worth considering. If you want to find out more, you can email me at craig@gcma.org.uk. Quentin's details are on the screen as well if you want to jot those down. But please get in touch. We can send you some information, have an initial conversation with Quentin, and see where it could go and how it could help you and your club to reopen safely, and for you to maximise your F&B revenue. Quentin, again, thank you for your time today. It's been really interesting to hear your initial thoughts on joining us as a partner at the GCMA. I'm sure the partnership will be a great success over the next 12 months and beyond, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully so. Do you mind if I just add one last thing in, Craig, just for the members that are thinking of reaching out to us? I know at this moment in time, obviously, in regards to financials, everybody's worrying about reopening and when that will happen. Just as quite a big thing we're offering at the moment is we will help you get ready and build this thing at no outlay financially at all. So you can kind of use the lockdown period to get yourselves ready, and we wouldn't start charging the costs for this product until you are reopen again. And that's been quite a bit of a game changer for a lot of the club managers I've already spoken to. It kind of takes away that worry about putting it in front of the committee and getting it signed off, because, as I said, we have a month to build these things and we'll get it ready, and you won't be charged until it's actually live and operational.
Brilliant. Well, that's a great offer to the GCMA members, and hopefully maybe a hurdle for them that's been taken away, which is what it's all about. So so reach out if you want more information. Please do get in touch with either myself or Quentin, and we'll be more than happy. I'll be certainly more than happy to put you guys together and start those conversations happening. So again, Quentin, thanks ever so much for taking the time to join us. Members, thank you for watching, for listening. I hope it was of value to you, and we'll be coming along very, very soon with another Q&A from one of our commercial partners. So thanks, stay safe, and we will see you soon.